The wrestling world lost some truly remarkable souls this year. Men whose passion, grit, and larger-than-life personalities made the sport what it is today. These weren't just performers putting on a show. They were warriors who faced pain and adversity head-on, inspiring countless fans with their dedication and heart. From legendary icons who defined entire eras, to talented athletes just beginning to carve their paths, each of these wrestlers carried stories of triumph, struggle, and resilience. Their impact went far beyond the ring. Many were mentors, friends, and role models who shaped the lives of those around them. As we remember these 13 incredible individuals, it's a moment to honor their journeys, celebrate their contributions, and reflect on the human spirit that drives professional wrestling. Their legacies remind us that behind every match, there's a story worth cherishing. 1. Steve McMichael, the Fallen Warrior. On April 23, 2025, the sports world bid farewell to a true American warrior. Steve McMichael, affectionately known as Mongo, passed away at the age of 67 after a courageous battle with ALS. Born in 1957 in Texas, McMichael's journey was forged in the fires of gridiron glory and sharpened in the spectacle of professional wrestling. Before wrestling, McMichael achieved national fame as a defensive tackle for the Chicago Bears, becoming a beloved member of the legendary team that won Super Bowl 20 in 1986. Known for his grit, aggression, and hard-hitting playstyle, he became a fan favorite for his sheer determination and no-nonsense persona. Football fans remember him as one of the toughest linemen of his era, a key cog in one of the NFL's most dominant defenses. But McMichael's journey didn't end at the 50-yard line. In the mid-1990s, he made an unlikely but unforgettable transition into professional wrestling, joining World Championship Wrestling, WCW. At first met with skepticism due to his football background, McMichael quickly silenced critics. He immersed himself in the world of wrestling and became an official member of the iconic Four Horsemen, standing alongside legends like Ric Flair and Arn Anderson. McMichael's in-ring style mirrored his football persona, aggressive, wild, and unpredictable. Though not known for technical finesse, his charisma, energy, and authenticity resonated deeply with fans. He brought an old-school toughness to the squared circle, and even in the chaos of WCW's unpredictable late 90s era, he stood out. His wrestling career may not have been long, but it was unforgettable. And when the cameras faded, McMichael faced the toughest opponent of his life, ALS. His strength never waned, and he fought the disease with remarkable courage and dignity. Even as his body weakened, his spirit never did. Steve McMichael's passing leaves a profound void, but he is forever etched into the annals of sports history as a gridiron hero, a horseman, and above all, a warrior who never surrendered. 2. Richard Harris, the legendary Black Bart. On January 9, 2025, wrestling lost one of its most colorful and rugged characters. Richard Harris, known to fans as Black Bart, died at age 76 following a brave battle with stage 4 colon cancer. A larger-than-life character with an unforgettable cowboy persona, Black Bart embodied the spirit of the Southern wrestling territories during the 1980s and early 1990s. With his scruffy beard, cowboy boots, and wild-eyed intensity, Black Bart was the kind of villain fans loved to boo, but also deeply respected. Wrestling primarily in promotions like Mid-Atlantic, Florida Championship Wrestling, and various Texas circuits, Bart was a territorial mainstay. He captured multiple titles, including the NWA National Heavyweight Championship, and participated in some of the most memorable feuds of his era. Often paired with Ron Bass as the Long Riders, Bart excelled in tag team action. His brawling style, combined with a strong sense of ring psychology, made him the ideal foil for babyfaces climbing the ranks. Whether competing in grimy southern arenas or larger regional shows, Bart gave 100% every night, a throwback to wrestling's traveling warrior tradition. Although he rarely cracked the top of the card, he was a consummate professional who elevated those around him. The industry recognized him as someone who made stars, always delivering and always dependable. That role, of the dependable hand who pushes others, is a quiet legacy, but a crucial one in professional wrestling. Away from the ring, Harris was known for his humble demeanor and deep sense of family. After retirement, he dedicated much of his time to training younger wrestlers, often emphasizing the importance of character work, fan interaction, and storytelling, cornerstones of the business he loved. Black Bart's passing marked the end of a distinct era in wrestling. He was a bridge to the golden age of territory wrestling, a stalwart of the Road Warrior generation. His contributions may not have always made headlines, but they built the foundation upon which the modern industry stands. Third Sabu, the Extreme Rebel. In May 2025, the wrestling world mourned the loss of one of its most influential and daring figures. Terry Brunk, known globally as Sabu, passed away at the age of 60. His death marked the end of an era defined by chaos, innovation, and unrelenting rebellion. As the nephew of the Sheik, one of wrestling's most feared and influential figures, Sabu was born into the business and into violence. But he did not rest on his lineage. Instead, he forged his own legend, one soaked in blood, broken tables, and barbed wire. In the 1990s, Sabu rose to fame as a central figure in Extreme Championship Wrestling, ECW, redefining the boundaries of what professional wrestling could be. His style was chaotic, unpredictable, and death-defying. He was the embodiment of hardcore wrestling, diving headfirst through tables, wrapping himself in barbed wire, and executing high-risk maneuvers that no one else dared attempt. He rarely spoke on the microphone, preferring to let his actions do the talking. In ECW, where attitude was everything, Sabu was the extreme heartbeat of the promotion. Matches against the likes of Taz, Terry Funk, and Rob Van Dam became legendary for their violence and innovation. Sabu didn't just wrestle. He sacrificed himself every night, often pushing his body beyond its limits. Countless injuries couldn't stop him. They only added to his mythos. Though he never found consistent footing in larger companies like WWE, Sabu's influence is undeniable. He paved the way for modern hardcore wrestling and inspired an entire generation of performers in companies like AEW, GCW, and NJPW. His fingerprints are on the very DNA of today's extreme style. Outside the ring, Sabu was surprisingly soft-spoken and introspective, a stark contrast to the wild man fans saw in the ring. He was respectful, deeply passionate about the art of wrestling, and proud of his heritage. Sabu was a true original, an extreme rebel who never conformed, never compromised, and always gave his all. His legacy is not only in the scars he bore, but in the boundaries he shattered. 4. Knuckles. Madson, a tragic end to a promising career. The wrestling community was stunned on July 11, 2025, by the shocking and tragic death of Kevin Nickel, better known as Knuckles Madson, who died in a shooting at just 41 years old. A rising star with undeniable passion and intensity, Madson's career was still in its prime, and his untimely death robbed wrestling of a promising future. Born in Minnesota, Nickel had a passion for combat sports from a young age. His background in bodybuilding, powerlifting, and amateur wrestling helped him develop a unique in-ring style centered around raw strength and endurance. His physical presence earned him a developmental contract with WWE in 2012. But despite his potential, Madson struggled to find a long-term place in the company's NXT system. Rather than give up, he pivoted to the independent wrestling scene, where his never-say-die spirit and fierce brawling style found a loyal following. Whether in gritty armories or regional promotions, Madson left a piece of himself in every match. He was a throwback to the days when passion mattered more than pyro, and intensity spoke louder than promos. Though he never reached the heights of global fame, those who worked with him knew his value. He was known for his tireless work ethic, willingness to learn, and respect for the business. Fans admired his blue-collar vibe, a wrestler who fought for every inch and poured emotion into every performance. His tragic death in Arkansas, reportedly the result of a random act of violence, shook the wrestling world. It was a devastating loss, not only of a wrestler, but of a human being whose story was still being written. Madson's legacy is that of a passionate warrior, one who burned with ambition, courage, and a love for wrestling that never wavered. 5. Mike Raybeck, the sudden tragedy of Max Justice. On May 18, 2025, the wrestling world was shaken by the sudden loss of Mike Raybeck, known to fans as Max Justice and formerly as Mike Diamond, who tragically died in a bicycle accident in Hayward, California, at the age of 63. Though never a mainstream superstar, Raybeck's impact on the independent wrestling scene, especially on the West Coast, was profound and heartfelt. Raybeck began his wrestling career in the late 1980s, bringing with him a powerful physique and an unwavering commitment to delivering hard-hitting, authentic matches. As Max Justice, he embodied the classic wrestling hero, a man who fought for honor, integrity, and the pure love of competition. His appeal was rooted not in flashy gimmicks or exaggerated personas, but in the genuine intensity and sincerity he brought to every bout. While he didn't achieve worldwide fame, Raybeck became a foundational figure in the independent circuit. He earned the respect of fans, peers, and promoters alike for his professionalism, dependability, and skill. Known as a locker room leader, he was often the trusted opponent who could elevate others' performances without losing his own edge. Bookers sought him out for his ability to engage audiences and nurture new talent. Off the mat, Raybeck was equally admired for his kindness and generosity. He dedicated time and effort to mentoring younger wrestlers, guiding them through the challenges of the wrestling world with a balance of toughness and compassion. Many rising stars credit Max Justice not for speeches or grand gestures, but for his example and steady support. His sudden death was not only a loss to the wrestling community, but also a deeply personal blow to those who knew him as a friend and mentor. Mike Raybeck's legacy reminds us that some of wrestling's most enduring heroes are those who quietly shape the sport behind the scenes, leaving lasting impressions through their character and heart. 6. Rico Suave, Puerto Rican wrestling icon. On March 20th, 2025, the wrestling world in Puerto Rico and beyond mourned the passing of Julio Domingo Estrada Casares, better known as Rico Suave, who died at the age of 54 due to heart failure. Rico Suave was more than just a wrestler. He was a symbol of Puerto Rico's passionate wrestling culture, where the squared circle is a stage for storytelling, emotion, and fierce competition. Estrada's career spanned over 2 decades, predominantly in the World Wrestling Council, WWC, Puerto Rico's premier wrestling promotion and cultural institution. He captivated audiences with his larger-than-life heel persona, arrogant, brash, and cunning, yet always charismatic. Rico Suave's ability to cut compelling promos made him one of the most memorable villains in Caribbean wrestling history. His verbal skills were sharp, and he knew exactly how to rile up the crowd, drawing passionate reactions, whether by cheers or boos. Inside the ring, Rico Suave was a skilled tactician. He mixed psychological warfare with physicality, exploiting every opportunity to frustrate his opponents and energize fans. His feuds with top Puerto Rican wrestlers became legendary, often headlining major events and igniting arenas with electricity. The rivalries were intense, but deeply respectful, embodying the spirit of competition at its best. Offstage, Julio Estrada was known for his humor and generosity. He dedicated time to mentoring younger wrestlers, teaching them the importance of connecting emotionally with fans. That wrestling was not just about athleticism, but about storytelling and character. Rico Suave's influence extended beyond his performances. He helped nurture the next generation of Puerto Rican talent. While he may not have gained global superstar status, within Puerto Rico and the Caribbean wrestling community, Rico Suave's legacy remains untouchable. He embodied the heart and soul of wrestling on the island, a man who lived for the applause, the boos, and the roar of the crowd. 7. Edward Wiskosski, Colonel De Beers, the villain of AWA's golden era. The professional wrestling world bid farewell on January 22, 2025, to Edward Wiskosski, known to fans as Colonel De Beers, who died at the age of 80. Born in 1945 in Nebraska, Wiskowski's path to wrestling was shaped by his early service in the United States Army, which instilled in him discipline, toughness, and a commanding presence that would become hallmarks of his wrestling character. Before achieving lasting fame as Colonel De Beers, Wiskosski experimented with various ring personas. But it was his creation of the authoritarian and provocative South African officer gimmick that catapulted him into wrestling infamy. De Beers became a masterful villain in the 1980s during the American Wrestling Association, AWA's final years, a time when the promotion struggled to maintain relevance against the WWF's rising dominance. Colonel De Beers was designed to provoke. His character was arrogant, racially charged, and unapologetically antagonistic. This heel persona drew intense audience reactions, making every appearance a moment of palpable tension. His feuds with patriotic babyfaces like Jimmy Snuka and Sergeant Slaughter were particularly fiery, turning every match into a battle of ideals as well as physical prowess. Though Wiskosski never captured a major championship, his legacy lies in his effectiveness as a villain. He understood that the role of a heel was to make heroes shine brighter by being their perfect foil. His timing, delivery, and commitment made him one of the purest heels of wrestling's golden territorial era. After the AWA folded, Wiskosski largely stepped away from the spotlight, but he occasionally appeared at independent shows and fan conventions, delighting audiences with stories and reflections from his career. His legacy as Colonel De Beers endures as a potent example of wrestling's power to evoke emotion, proving that sometimes the most memorable figures are those the fans love to hate. 8. Krasmir Kochev, Bulgaria's freestyle wrestling pride. The world of amateur wrestling lost a shining star on January 23, 2025, with the passing of Krasmir Kochev at age 50 after a prolonged illness. Born in 1974 in a small Bulgarian town rich with wrestling tradition, Kochev's life was defined by discipline, perseverance, and an unyielding competitive spirit that made him one of Bulgaria's most respected freestyle wrestlers. From a young age, Kochev demonstrated natural talent and dedication. He dominated junior competitions and quickly ascended to Bulgaria's national wrestling team, competing at European championships and representing his country in the Olympics. Kochev became a beacon of hope and pride for Bulgarian sports fans. His wrestling style was a masterful blend of strength, endurance, and technical cunning. He was respected by opponents worldwide for his ability to read matches and seize opportunities. To Bulgarians, Kochev was more than an athlete. He was a symbol of national resilience and a reminder of the power of hard work. After retiring from competition, Kochev devoted himself to coaching. His commitment to nurturing young athletes reflected his belief in passing on not only skills but also values, discipline, respect, and passion. Under his guidance, Bulgaria continued to produce wrestling talent capable of competing on the world stage. Though his life was cut tragically short, Krasmir Kochev's legacy lives on through the generations of wrestlers he inspired. A testament to a man who fought not only for medals, but for the soul of his sport. 9. Grand Hamada, the lucha libre pioneer in Japan. On February 15th, 2025, the wrestling community worldwide mourned the loss of Hisashi Hamada, better known as Grand Hamada, a true pioneer who bridged the worlds of Mexican lucha libre and Japanese professional wrestling. Born in 1950 in Chiba, Japan, Hamada's career was marked by innovation, cultural fusion, and a relentless dedication to his craft. Among the earliest trainees of New Japan Pro Wrestling, NJPW, Hamada was sent to Mexico to immerse himself in the vibrant lucha libre style, a tradition known for its aerial maneuvers and rapid pace. Embracing this new style, he quickly gained recognition for his agility, technical skill, and charisma, despite being smaller in stature compared to many Japanese heavyweights. Wrestling as Grand Hamada in Mexico, he became a beloved figure, endearing himself to fans with his fearless performances and dedication to the lucha style. Upon returning to Japan, Hamada founded Universal Lucha Libre, a promotion that planted the seeds for the high-flying wrestling styles now popular in Japan. Universal Lucha Libre served as a launching pad for future stars such as Sasuke and Taka Michinoku, who would go on to revolutionize Japanese wrestling. Hamada's influence extended beyond the ring. He was a mentor to countless wrestlers, proving that passion, innovation, and perseverance could redefine the sport regardless of size or background. His nearly 5 decades of contribution to wrestling marked a cultural fusion that enriched both the Japanese and Mexican wrestling traditions. Grand Hamada's passing was the loss of a visionary who showed that wrestling was truly a universal language. 10. Hisashi Shinma, the visionary behind wrestling's global rise. On April 21st, 2025, the wrestling world lost one of its most important behind-the-scenes figures, Hisashi Shinma, who passed away at 90. While never a competitor himself, Shinma's visionary leadership and strategic mind helped shape professional wrestling's global rise, particularly bridging the wrestling worlds of Japan and North America. Born in post-war Japan, Shinma rose to prominence for his remarkable organizational skills and insight. During the 1970s, he served as the figurehead president of the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, in its early international expansion, becoming a vital conduit between WWF owner Vince McMahon and New Japan Pro Wrestling, NJPW, which Shinma helped found. His work facilitating talent exchanges enriched both wrestling cultures, bringing Japanese stars like Antonio Inoki to American audiences, while introducing American wrestlers to Japan's passionate fans. This cross-pollination of talent broadened the horizons of the sport and expanded its fan base. One of Shinma's most significant contributions was pioneering the junior heavyweight division, giving smaller, more technical wrestlers a platform and transforming wrestling styles worldwide. The junior heavyweight class introduced speed, agility, and innovative techniques that diversified the wrestling spectacle. Though not often in the spotlight, Shinma's influence was profound. His vision helped professional wrestling become a truly global phenomenon, creating cultural bridges and expanding the industry far beyond its original borders. His passing marked the loss of a master strategist, whose quiet but decisive contributions shaped the sport's future for decades. 11th, Black Terry, the enduring spirit of lucha libre. On April 20th, 2025, the lucha libre community mourned the loss of Esteban Mahrez Castaneta, famously known as Black Terry, who passed away at 72 due to cardiac arrest. Born and raised in the heartland of Mexican wrestling, Black Terry's story is woven into the very fabric of lucha libre's golden era and its continuing evolution. Black Terry emerged as a formidable force in the 1970s and 1980s, initially gaining widespread recognition as a member of Los Tomarillos, a popular and respected tag team known for their technical skill, toughness, and unyielding spirit. The team's chemistry and in-ring storytelling captivated fans and established Black Terry as a foundational figure in Mexican wrestling's territorial circuits. Beyond his tag team success, Black Terry carved out an impressive singles career, characterized by a blend of traditional lucha libre artistry and his own fiercely personal style. His wrestling was a marriage of technical precision and emotional intensity. He had the rare ability to connect deeply with audiences, whether playing the hero or the villain. His persona was multifaceted, a true testament to lucha libre's dramatic and cultural richness. Throughout his career, Black Terry was respected for his resilience and passion. Even as wrestling evolved and newer stars emerged, he remained active in the independent circuit well into his later years, embodying the sport's enduring spirit. He was also a mentor, nurturing younger wrestlers and passing on lucha libre's cultural significance and wrestling techniques. His commitment to the sport and to preserving its traditions made him a revered figure not only in Mexico, but across the global wrestling community. Black Terry's legacy is that of a warrior who faced every challenge with courage and heart. His perseverance and devotion to lucha libre inspire countless wrestlers and fans alike. His name will forever be etched in the annals of Mexican wrestling history as a symbol of endurance, passion, and cultural pride. 12. Jerry Morrow, the Caribbean pioneer who shaped wrestling's diversity. The wrestling world also said goodbye to Jerry Morrow, born Gerard Edifier, who died on July 28, 2025, at 75. Hailing from the French Caribbean island of Martinique, Morrow was a trailblazer who brought Caribbean flair and athleticism to North American and international wrestling scenes, making him a vital figure in wrestling's stylistic diversification during the 1970s and 1980s. Morrow's journey began after relocating to Canada, where he quickly rose through the ranks in Stampede Wrestling, a territory famous for its intense competition and producing some of the era's most prominent stars. Morrow's unique blend of explosive power, agility, and fluid technical ability made him stand out among his peers. He was a charismatic performer who could both intimidate and entertain, captivating audiences with his athleticism and commanding presence. Throughout his career, Jerry Morrow showcased his versatility, adopting a compelling villainous persona that drew strong reactions from fans. His style was a fusion of Caribbean vibrancy and North American technical wrestling, reflecting his multicultural background and adaptability. Morrow's matches in Canada, Japan, and the Caribbean were marked by his ability to seamlessly blend these styles, contributing significantly to the era's increasing globalization of wrestling. Beyond his in-ring achievements, Morrow was deeply respected as a mentor. He dedicated himself to helping young wrestlers develop their own unique identities, emphasizing the importance of connecting authentically with fans. His guidance influenced a generation of wrestlers, encouraging them to embrace diversity in character development and wrestling style. Jerry Morrow's legacy is one of a pioneer who expanded wrestling's horizons, challenging conventions and enriching the sport with cultural and stylistic variety. His impact is felt not only through his matches, but also through the countless lives he touched as a teacher and role model. His passing marked the loss of a vibrant personality who embodied the colorful mosaic of professional wrestling's global evolution. 13. Hulk Hogan, wrestling's immortal icon. Perhaps the most globally recognized name to pass in 2025 was Terry Gene Bollea, known worldwide as Hulk Hogan. Hogan died on July 24, 2025, at 71 due to a heart attack complicated by leukemia and arrhythmia. His death marked the end of an era for professional wrestling and American pop culture, as Hogan was not just a wrestler. He was a phenomenon who defined wrestling's golden age and transcended the sport. Born in 1953 in Augusta, Georgia, Hogan's imposing stature, standing nearly 2 meters tall, combined with his charisma and distinctive look, helped him rise quickly in the wrestling world. By the late 1970s, Hogan was already making waves, but it was his arrival in the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, in the early 1980s that changed everything. Hogan became the face of Hulkamania, a cultural movement powered by his larger-than-life persona. iconic catchphrases like, "Say your prayers and take your vitamins," and his trademark finishing move, the leg drop. His appeal transcended wrestling. He became a household name, appearing in television, movies, and commercials, bringing wrestling into mainstream consciousness. Central to Hogan's legacy was his role in transforming WrestleMania into a global spectacle, a yearly event that drew millions of viewers and helped cement wrestling as a major entertainment industry. His legendary rivalries with other wrestling titans, such as Andre the Giant, Randy Savage, and The Ultimate Warrior, produced some of the most memorable matches in history, captivating audiences with drama, athleticism, and storytelling. While Hogan's career was later complicated by personal controversies and legal battles, his influence on wrestling and popular culture remains unparalleled. Inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2005, Hogan inspired countless wrestlers and fans worldwide. His persona embodied the heart and soul of professional wrestling, the showmanship, the passion, and the connection with audiences. Even after retiring from active competition, Hogan remained a beloved figure, involved in wrestling in various capacities and continuing to inspire new generations. His passing was mourned globally, with tributes reflecting on his role as wrestling's most recognizable and enduring icon. Stay informed, stay updated, hit that subscribe button.